My name is Jeremy Repke. I run a website called How To Hockey. I guess it's a bit more than a website. I also have 2 YouTube channels, all the social media accounts. And the whole point of all that is just to bring good hockey instruction online. So I started by just sharing what I know. I was a kid that grew up playing hockey, and I loved to coach and I loved to help other people. So I also was pretty good with websites, and I thought I would combine those 2 passions. So I just started, I wanted to write a few articles. So if anyone was looking for information on how to improve their skills, they can look it up, and it's just all in one place. And I got a good demand for it and lots of traffic, and people were asking for videos. So I started doing videos, and then people started asking for more videos, and I just kept growing from there. So basically what I do is help people improve their skills. Anyone, anywhere can improve their hockey skills and learn how to play hockey. Growing up as a kid, playing hockey was always the one thing that I always looked forward to. There was a few times throughout the week during the winter season, and I always looked forward to those days. It's Tuesday, it's almost Thursday, now it's almost Saturday, because that's when the practice and that's when the game is. So whenever there was hockey, that was what I was looking forward to. And especially in the winter, when the ponds froze, I loved being out on the pond with my friends. And it was really just all about having a common goal and being with people that are all trying to achieve the same thing. And win or lose, we always had fun, and I just really loved that about hockey. When I was younger, I was always looking to get more ice time, and growing up in a small town, once the rinks take their ice out, there's no more places to skate. So in the summertime, I would practice whenever I could at flat surface. We had, just before the hay went into our barn, there was a nice flat surface up there that I would practice my stick handling and shooting. But I wanted more. You don't get that feeling of motion where you're actually moving to really work on those skills. So I bought a pair of rollerblades, maybe I was about 11 or 12 years old, and tried them out up in the barn. And the first thing I did, I went full tilt, and I said, oh, this is awesome. And then I turned to do a hockey stop, and I just dug right in and flipped over and landed in the hay pile. So inline, of course, is not quite the same, and I realized that after a little bit going from rollerblades and then onto the ice, there's a bit of a difference in that feeling. So I never did feel that close connection, but it was still something. It was better than just standing still. And then I first tried out the Marsblades a few years ago at the Let's Play Hockey Expo. And the first time I tried them, I felt a little, like I almost fell forward and then almost fell back, and then it instantly clicked, and I was like, okay, here we go. And once a couple minutes onto them, and I could really see the benefits of how it's going to carry over onto the ice. I put them on expecting the same stance and feel as inline. And once I realized that I got to be more like how I play hockey, more of a knee bend and better balanced. You can't rely on that solid, rigid frame because there is that motion there. So I really enjoyed that, the challenge, I guess you could say, of the Marsblades, and can definitely see how that carries it on the ice. So as a kid, always looking to get more ice time and get out there. As an adult now, I still look for that extra something to challenge myself and also challenge the kids that I train and that I coach and that watch my videos online. So for me, I've got a nice setup in my garage, and I still will go out there probably once a week, and I'll put on the Marsblades just to get that feeling of motion and movement. When you're stick handling standing still and shooting standing still, you can build skills, but when you add that extra motion to it, then it just makes it that much more game-like. And even for those tight quarters, the agility, the tight turns, you can do a lot more on Marsblades than you can just in your shoes and even with just regular inlines. So I definitely think it's a good way to add another level to your training. You're challenging the stabilizing muscles, and also a common complaint that I hear from newer players is that when they're off the ice, they're lower, right? With the skates on, they add a few extra inches. So having the Marsblades on gives you that extra height, can kind of help bridge that gap and give you that feeling that you're on ice when you're shooting a stick handling. And of course, skating as well. So I think that for me, it's nice just to add something different into the training. For the kids that I'm training, definitely would recommend it. And for anyone who is looking for a way to challenge themselves, it's a good tool for sure. Something that I've noticed is that there's a lot of really good hockey coaches and instructors out there, but what seems to happen is all the best coaches are coaching the best players, and it kind of leaves a gap for the players that are starting late, or they have that passion, the desire to improve, but they don't have access to those really good coaches. So something that's important to me is to continue to reach out and teach to the newer hockey players, beginner to intermediate, also, building those foundations that can help the more advanced players as well. But I want to be the best coach possible and continue to grow that area so that the people who need the information the most, which are the younger players, the beginner players, the intermediates, they have access to a good coach, and they can improve their skills at the same rate as the players that are on the ice 5 days a week with top tier coaches. So what I'm doing with How to Hockey is just continue to grow it and create new resources, new training videos, training series, apps that players can use to improve, even ebooks and online training courses that is just a video training course that the players can go through. So I'm always just looking to expand and bring that good hockey instruction online, not just from myself, but also from other instructors, working with other really good instructors and other hockey companies that share that same passion and view. So we're not just reaching and teaching a team of 20, we're teaching the world how to improve their skills. So something that I'm really looking forward to is just working with companies like Marsblade, where they're giving players that can't get on the ice 5 times a week, well, they can get in their Marsblades a few times a week and kind of make up that difference, right? And they have that similar feel, and it's really bridging that gap. So I'm excited for working with those types of companies and just helping players experience the best game in the world. For me, using the Marsblades, work it into what I have. So I've got a small area in the garage. It's not a big surface, so I would love if I had a backyard rink. Wintertime, flood it. Summertime, put the Marsblades on it and use that whole area. But you got to use what you have. So I've got that small spot in the garage. I'll typically put them on when I am working on a certain movement or a certain drill that requires movement, so I can work through it and understand the movements better, and then I can teach it to the players on the ice and demonstrate it a lot easier. Especially for shootouts, so I have a net in the garage, and it's really good for working on when to fake, the timing, the movements, your distance from the net, and that sort of thing, and just getting those small patterns down. With a shootout, you're approaching the net. It's something you can't practice when you're standing still, because the distance is changing as you approach. So you have to get that timing right and the movements right to be able to pull it off and demonstrate it properly when you get on the ice. So I like to use it for those situations. Also for just working on balance is really good, even in a small space, because you can do a lot of one leg drills where you're working on that single leg balance and getting comfortable on the skates. So once you get on the ice, it's really easy to see, especially if there's players that want to work on skating backwards. Put the Marsblades on, roll backwards, and you're gonna find that proper balance point. When you get on the ice, you'll feel it. And then if you want to push yourself even more with one leg backwards, one leg forwards, the edge drills that we were shooting that you guys can check out on the channel, those are great. And there's a lot of ways you can challenge yourself. So for me, that's usually where I use it. So it's convenient for me. The garage is just right next door. It's a smaller space, so I use that small space on a regular basis. And basically there's a lot of different ways you can use them. If you have a big parking lot nearby, get it in the parking lot. If you have a small small flat area, you can use a small flat area. And if you have a quiet road, you can develop all kinds of different ways to train yourself with Marsblades. A typical week can be pretty sporadic for me. A week where I'm not too busy doing other things like traveling and all that. I have quite a bit to do, so emails can take up quite a bit of time. Responding to just comments, direct messages, those types of things on social media can take up some time. Then I'll do video editing. I have to shoot the video first, so that can take a day or two. And then after the video is produced, upload it. I got to promote it, so I put it through my social media channels. I also play hockey once or twice a week, and I coach hockey once or twice a week. And then I do private training as well in my garage. And between all that, there's also the family life. You got to stay balanced, hang out with the family, go out for dinner dates every once in a while, go to the movies, those types of things. So I'm always looking for new things to do and new ways to help others. And that's a small sampling of some of the things I do. And I'm sure if you ask my wife, there's about 50 other things that I do as well. She says I spend too much time with hockey, but I just love it so much.